Adrian Certa. All right, thanks. Michael Ward, thank you. Melody Dollar, thank you. Daniel Hawk, where, thank you. Jacqueline Jacobs, thank you. Bobby Land, yes, sir. Thank you. Amanda Meek, thank you. Martin Perez, thank you, sir. Ronald Toll, thank you, sir. All right, my docket sheet shows that most everyone has an attorney. We're going to wait for the attorneys to arrive. Janet McGuire, come forward, please. All right, if you'll stand in front of the tape, right there, it's fine. Thank you. Does the state have a recommendation in this matter? I note that you do not have an attorney, is that correct?
Correct.
And has the state talked to you about what they want to do?
I'm supposed to be for getting an extension on my probation.
Well, an extension,
Yeah.
and is that because you've been unable to pay?
Yes.
How much more time do you need?
I was going to be asking for a year. So I'm on probation.
One more year?
Yes. Sir.
All right, so you have an order.
I'm just right.
And Judge, the state generally takes no position on probation extensions. That's between the probation and the probation department.
All right, thank you.
Generally.
All right, are you employed?
I'm self-employed right now. Dealing with a lot of CPS, so kind of keeping it. I'm almost able to be able to do it. So.
All right, I'm going to extend your probation for 1 year, beginning the 19th day of September of this year to the 18th day of September 2023. I'm going to I have this is in writing. I'm going to get my bailiff to give you to this so you can sign it as well, and then we'll give you a copy.
Thank you.
All right, I show that every person on the docket has an attorney. I'm going to allow if any attorneys are ready to go forward, please let me know and approach the bench. But they can still do it. People that are hard here, speed wasn't. It's now. Mr. Smith. Huh?
They're gonna listen to him today right over here in the wind spot.
Oh, I didn't think there's cuts.
I go to see them.
That's what.
They released this into the water. I can, I just. There's anyway. Oh, Lord. I understand what. Their boss saying. Prison and time. Here we are. It's not like we were like, it's not like we were like afraid of it. I don't care, Ms. Wayne. Understand how we got.
Mr. Austin,
Yes.
you approach, please. I know your client's late, but I believe you and your client will have a plea.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Go over with them.
And Judge, we entered the plea agreement probably 3 weeks ago. Judge Brabham was here and he accepted it. We're really just coming back for formal sentencing,
So
just to surrender.
We really don't need stipulations.
No, sir, I think they're in the
We
file.
just need the order.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Said that he thinks the stipulated plea has already been made. Stipulated. Looking at it, he said, "Oh, he thinks that he thinks all of it."
We don't live there.
It's good. All right, Counselor, can I be of service?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Ward and I are ready to proceed.
All right. And this is on a motion to revoke, is that correct?
That's correct, Judge. I spoke to the state. I believe we have a resolution in place for him to be done with his probation next time we're here to resolve that motion to revoke.
All right, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, the main thrust, which one? The main thrust of the motion to revoke is a new offense in a different county. It's our
Ellis County.
Ellis County, and our understanding is that Ellis County has rejected that charge. We're still waiting to get the reports to see if there's something that we can proceed on. We don't think that we will, based on their just flat rejection of that charge. but we need a little bit more time. Also with the resolution we've discussed, if Mr. Warren can come up with some funds, it will be very beneficial to him.
Well, I'm not, this court's not gonna revoke him if he's poor. But if he's lazy and won't do community service, I'd be, I'm sure Judge Martin's the same as me. We want people to do what they're supposed to on probation, and there's an issue of that. Counselor, is your client gonna try to address that?
Judge, since I've been appointed to his case, he has already done substantial amount of community service hours. I believe, last I checked, he was down to approximately 70 hours remaining, and he's going to continue
All right.
doing that community service.
All right, well, that's is good on his part, and the court appreciates that. Basically, what you would like me to do today is just to reset this matter.
Yes, and Judge, I was able to get a date from Ms. Taberham for the next contested docket, which is going to be on 8/25, and I've made my client aware that he does need to have the additional funds in place as well as finish out that community service before that.
All right, so is it gonna be at 9 o'clock on that day?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is going to reset Mr. Ward's case August the 25th at 9 a.m. Do we need to give him anything in writing?
The defense counsel's already filled that out, and the state has already signed off on it.
All right, great.
The court's
Very good then. Mr. Ward, once you have your copy of that and your lawyer doesn't need to speak with you anymore, then you'll be free to go.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, counsel.
Thank you, Judge, and I believe that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
All right, are you, Mr. Certa?
Yes, I am.
All right, and, I was advised, sir, that on a previous day, that you pled, true to the allegations in a motion to revoke. Is that correct, counsel?
Judge, it was actually a plea bargain agreement. It's not a motion to adjudicate, it's a new
Oh,
case.
it's, all right, I'm looking, just a second, I'm looking at the wrong piece of paper.
Yeah, maybe the clerk.
All right. Do I have order of Certa?
All that's, they think we have signed is the waiver of jury trial, but I'm gonna go check with the clerks. Maybe they just haven't put it in the file yet.
All right, Counselor, would you approach? You advised me that you thought all of the paperwork was done.
I'm fairly-
Abraham.
yes, sir.
Reminded, she hadn't been able to.
Okay.
She doesn't know if the clerk hasn't,
Okay.
put it in or not, so.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to wait a minute. to see
Sure,
if
that's
she-
fine.
She can find that. I'm happy no wonder I couldn't find the paperwork. I'd given it to her to see.
Okay.
See if in fact, she could find,
Okay,
the
We
rest of the
can-
paperwork. So let's just wait.
sure, we
until
can re-execute it. if we need to.
They,
Okay.
they just may not have
Okay,
formally filed it.
Okay. thank you.
Thank you.
Counselor, you and your client may be seated.
Okay.
I'll have time. These are the originals, so they have signed some of the papers.
All right, in, cause number CR 200381, the state of Texas versus Adrian Certa. My coordinator has found the papers that were previously signed. And am I correct that your client actually entered his plea?
Yes, Judge, we did last time. The agreement was for 2 years and $1,000 fine. I think the only thing left that might need to be signed is the actual judgment from the court.
All right,
Think-
Mr. Certa, do you understand that in regard to your plea agreement, that you're going to be sentenced to 2 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you understand that because this was a plea bargain agreement that you will have, you waive your appeal, you will not have a right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Your plea of guilty and having been previously entered, the court is going to follow the plea agreement. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the institutional division, a fine of $1,000. The court is going to take into consideration under section 1245 Texas Penal Code, a possession of marijuana in an amount less than 2 ounces. Did I follow the plea agreement, Counselor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Certa?
Yes.
All right, so I am, you will not have a right to appeal because I followed that agreement. All right, you will have to go into custody at this time. You're gonna, somebody's gonna make you this plan. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
These are the ones. Here. Mr. Austin, I feel that's your only case.
Yes, sir.
You may be excused.
Judge, the rest of the docket is Mr. Schmidt. In the back, he's got everyone else who would like to take a break. We'd be happy to come and see it or have the coordinator. So you'd like,
I'll sit here at the chamber, so,
however,
I'll go into recess, so you can go back to your office or whatever you need.
oh, no, I'll stay here. I was just, in case the court would like to recess to the chamber.
No, I'll be happy to wait. Thank you.
Absolutely, Judge.
Doing fine, Mr. Smith.
We should be ready to proceed in a couple minutes. Get the clerk to swear all the paperwork.
All right, that's great. If, to ask you one thing. Just for the land. The judge is going to let.
Yes, sir. He's going to be reinstated on community supervision. The state has a motion to withdraw and continue.
All right, I have a copy of that. But they didn't sign it.
Yes, sir. I will, there should be some amended conditions for you to sign on that.
Awesome.
I don't know how to fix it.
All right, okay.
Three dogs. It's a pig,
Okay,
and so it just stays, so it just.
that's about that. That'll work.
All right, this court is going to be in recess.
Civic on maintenance and enjoying. That. Well, group more expensive, doing a what? I know the face, but yeah. I would say that was a. Something to come. I don't believe this walking on. She's been trying to leave us. The whole sense is here, she can come back. We're going to home.
you'd like to do on this file.
Uh, Okay, Amanda Robbins, Meek. Forward, please, to council table. All right, ma'am, do you understand that the state has filed a motion to revoke your community supervision? Speak out.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Smith is representing you. It's my understanding that you and Mr. Smith and the state have all reached an agreement. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that agreement is the state is going to withdraw their motion to revoke and continue you on probation. But they're also gonna amend your probation so that you will finish making payments. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want this court to do?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, did I correctly state the agreement?
That is correct, Judge. Basically, the state's going to withdraw and continue her own community supervision. Her conditions, as previously ordered, will remain in effect. She's to pay the additional amounts.
And is that correct from the state?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. Additionally, I conveyed to Ms. Meek through her attorney that this is her last opportunity. And he made known to her, this is her last opportunity. If she is unsuccessful for any reason, we will be revoking her and she will be going to prison. So we need you to succeed now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Smith, they want her to sign this amendment as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Rose Allen.
Yes. Which details the amount of money that she owes.
That's your boo.
Right, she'll get a copy of that. All right, Ms. Meek, this court and the prosecutor's office are giving you another chance, so it's gonna be up to you to see if you can't make it good, all right? All right, good luck to you. Martin Perez.
I got quite a bit of following on YouTube, so I don't know.
All right, Mr. Perez, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand to take an oath. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now it's my understanding that the state is accusing you by indictment of possessing a controlled substance in penalty group 1, but in an amount less than 1 gram.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand what it is they're saying you might have done wrong?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I know that Mr. Smith is here as your lawyer. Have you and your attorney had enough time to study this situation and decide what to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, these papers, I have before me some papers you signed. Did your attorney go over these papers with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he explain to you what you were signing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand all his explanations?
Yes, Your Honor.
By signing these papers, you're giving up some valuable rights. You're waiving your right to have a jury trial, your right to cross-examine witnesses, your right against self-incrimination, even your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your decision to waive those rights and go forward with the plea agreement that you and your attorney have worked out with the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I would ask that the state advise the court of the plea agreement.
Yes, Your Honor. On the defendant's plea of guilty, state would recommend punishment be assessed 6 months in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, State Jail Division, a fine of $1,000, $180 in restitution, court cost of $290, reimbursement fees, the amount of like $655.
All right, the judgment I have just says 155 on the reimbursement. Is that incorrect?
I'm assuming the reimbursement is for court appointed attorneys.
It's not, because it's going to state jail, so.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It's 155. Sorry, Judge.
All right, I just wanted to be sure we had the.
Yes, Judge. It's 155 is what it shows here. I was assuming there was court appointed attorney. $155.
All right, Mr. Smith, did the state's prosecutor correctly state the agreement?
He did, Judge, and I've reviewed the proposed judgment and it appears to be correct.
All right, Mr. Perez, is that the agreement that you entered into?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, does the state want to enter into evidence stipulation?
Yes, Your Honor. State would offer State's Exhibit 1, the state's this defendant's stipulation of evidence. Did you believe it should have already been presented to the court paperwork?
I have it in front of me.
We have no objection.
State's Exhibit 1 and ask the court to see if petition notice to the defendant's guilty.
All right, any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, Mr. Smith, any testimony or evidence or statements before I ask your client for his plea?
Judge, no, we have nothing to present to the court. We just asked the court to follow the agreement as stated in the judgment.
All right, Mr. Perez, to this allegation that you possess a controlled substance in penalty group 1 in an amount less than 1 gram here in Van Zandt County. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Other than the agreement, did anyone promise you anything or threaten you to get you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
All right, I am going to accept your plea. I'm going to find it freely and voluntarily made. I am going to follow the plea agreement that was stated into the record and set out in the judgment that I'm signing. 6 months in a state jail, $1,000 fine, $180 restitution. Did I follow the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I followed the agreement, it limits your rights to appeal. But you also signed in these papers that you do not want to appeal. Is that still your desire?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much. That's all in this matter. They'll need to get your print. All right, Mr. Land, come forward. All right, it's my understanding, sir, well, I'm gonna ask you to take an oath at this time. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
Tell me your full legal name.
Bobby Wayne Land.
Sir, it's my understanding that the state had filed a motion to revoke your community supervision. Is that correct? And Judge Martin signed a warrant. You were confined to the Van Zandt County Jail. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, it appears that your attorney, the state, and you have reached an agreement in this matter, and that agreement is the state is going to withdraw the motion to revoke and ask that this court continue your probation, and in addition, they're going to do an amendment to your probation, which sets out in detail the amounts of money you owe, and also they're going to ask that you serve a term of imprisonment of 168 days, and that you have credit for that time. Is that correct? Mr. Smith, is that the agreement you and the state worked out?
It is, Judge.
Does the state concur that is the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, that is their agreement.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Smith that you give this, that your client sign a copy of that amendment. All right, this court is going to follow the agreement. Mr. Land, I'm going to dismiss the state's motion to revoke. But whatever it is that causes you to use drugs, you're gonna have to find some way to stop that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because the next time you might not be in the jail, you might be in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
That's all in this proceeding. Okay, Jacqueline Jacobs. All right, ma'am, I need you to raise your right hand and take an oath. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, tell me your full legal name.
Jacqueline Elaine Jacobs.
Ma'am, do you understand that the state has filed a motion to adjudicate your probation?
Yes, sir.
And have you and your attorney, Mr. Smith, had sufficient time to go over that motion? And do you understand what they're saying you might have done wrong while you were on deferred probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's my understanding that you and your attorney in the state have all reached an agreement in that matter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that agreement is upon your plea of truth to the motion to adjudicate, you're asking that the court actually adjudicate your probation and find you guilty and sentence you to 10 days in the Van Zandt County Jail. And also you'll have to pay the balance of your financial obligations. Is that the agreement you reached?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, did I correctly state the agreement?
You did, Your Honor, and attached is Exhibit A on those documents are the dates in which Ms. Jacobs will have to surrender herself to the Van Zandt County Jail to serve those remaining 10 days.
All right, Counselor for the state, did I correctly state the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I would also ask that the court admonish her that she needs to bring both a copy of the judgment and a government issued photo ID to the jail, where they will not let you in. That will result in additional charges. For that reason or for any other reason, if you do not show up at the jail as ordered, that will result in new criminal charges.
Did you, the court will echo what the prosecutor just stated. If you don't go to the jail with a photo ID and a copy of your order, they're not gonna let you in, and it's the same as if you didn't show up. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
Here.
All right, all right, I have some papers here that you signed. You, defendant's waiver of rights and plea of truth to the state's motion to adjudicate. Did, your attorney go over that document with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he explain to you what you were signing?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand all of his explanation?
Yes, Your Honor.
By signing that paper, you're telling me that you're pleading truth to the allegations in the motion to revoke, and you want me to adjudicate your probation and sentence you to 10 days in the Van Zandt County Jail with this plea agreement. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Smith, any testimony or evidence before I ask your client for her plea?
No, Judge, we'd ask the court to proceed.
All right, Ms. Jacobs, to this allegation that the allegations that you violated your deferred adjudication, how do you plead?
True.
True. Other than the agreement, did anyone threaten you to get you to plead true or force you to plead true?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to accept your plea. I find it freely and voluntarily made. I'm going to follow the plea bargain agreement. And you need to be sure that you have this Exhibit A, which tells you what times and when you're supposed to report to jail, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And because I follow the plea bargain, it limits your right to appeal. And you've given up your right to appeal, is that correct? All right, man. I wish you the best of luck. They're gonna need to get your print on this, Judge. Good luck to you, man. All right, Ms. Melody Dollar. Come up, please. All right, ma'am, I need you to raise your right hand to take an oath. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, is your full legal name Melody Michelle Dawes?
Yes.
And I know that your attorney, Mr. Smith, is by your side. Did you and Mr. Smith have enough time to study this situation regarding a motion to revoke your probation?
Yeah.
And did you understand what it is that the state is saying that you might have done wrong while you were on probation?
Yes.
Now, these papers reflect that you and, your attorney and the state have all reached an agreement. And that agreement is upon your plea of truth to the state's motion to revoke, you're asking that the court adjudicate your guilt and punish you, assess your punishment at 3 years confinement in the institution division and balance of your financial obligations, and the state is going to abandon count 1 of the motion to revoke. Is that the agreement that you reached?
Yeah.
Mr. Smith, is that correct?
It is, Judge.
From the state, is that the correct plea?
Yes, Your Honor, that's.
You understand if there had not been a plea, you could have received up to 5 years in prison?
Yes.
I have before me some papers that you signed. One being defendant's waiver of rights and plea of truth to the motions to revoke. Did your attorney go over that with you before you signed it?
Yes.
Did you understand the rights that you were giving up?
Yes.
And by signing that, you're saying that I don't want, I'm not going to contest this. I'm not going to force the state to prove it. I'm going to admit to it. And I'm going to accept the plea agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Any testimony or evidence from the state?
Judge, we would ask the court to take judicial notice of the motion to revoke and the defendant's pleas of truth there.
The court will so note, take judicial note, anything, Mr. Smith, from the defense.
No, Judge, we just asked the court to follow the plea agreement and reiterate the fact that there are 3 counts on the motion to revoke. And Ms. Dollar intends to plead true to counts 2 and 3.
All right, is that, ma'am, to the counts 2 and 3 in the motion to revoke, how do you plead to those?
True.
Other than the agreement, did anybody threaten you or force you to plead true to those allegations?
No.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to accept your plea. I'm going to find your pleas of truth. I am going to revoke your probation. I am going to follow the plea agreement. I'm going to sentence you to 3 years in the institutional division. And because I followed the plea bargain, it limits your rights to, you don't have a right to appeal, and you signed a piece of paper which acknowledged that in these plea papers. Ma'am, I wish you the best of luck in this case. Good luck to you now. That's all in this matter. They'll have to get the prints on the judge. All right, if anybody who could play. Mr. Smith, do you need a break or you okay?
I'm ready. I think we have one more remaining, Judge. That would be Mr. Hawk.
Hawk, Daniel Morgan Hawk, come up. Make that. Mr. Smith, while he's coming up, I want to advise Mr. Paul. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. All right. I'm resetting your case to the 25th day of August at 9 o'clock. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. We're not going to have a hearing today, but it's going to be put off to that day. All right? Yes, sir. All right. Thank you. That's all. All right, sir, your name Daniel Morgan Hawk?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, I need you to raise your right hand to take an oath. Just do the best you can with those cups. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you, sir. Do you understand that the state has filed a motion to revoke your probation.
Yes, sir.
And they allege 7 counts in that motion. Have you and your attorney had enough time to study that motion to revoke and decide what to do?
Yes, sir.
I have before me some papers you signed. Did your attorney go over all those papers with you?
Yes, sir.
Did he explain to you what you were signing?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand all of his explanation?
Yes, sir, I did.
By signing these papers, you're giving up your right to force the state to prove that you violated your probation. You're admitting to it. They're not gonna have to prove it because you're admitting to it. And you're giving up your right to cross-examine the witnesses at a hearing. Your right, your right, giving up your right to your Fifth Amendment right.
Yes, sir.
Not to say anything. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do understand.
Is it your decision to give up those rights and go forward with the plea agreement that you, your attorney, and the state all entered into?
Yes, sir, I have.
All right, now, these papers reflect that you, the agreement is that upon your plea of truth, the court's going to revoke your probation and assess your punishment as 7 months confinement in a state jail. And you'll have to pay the balance of your financial obligations. Is that the agreement you read?
Yes, sir.
You understand if there had not been an agreement, you could receive up to 2 years in a state jail?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Smith, did the court correctly state the agreement?
Court did, Judge.
All right, is that correct from the state?
Yes, Your Honor, that was our agreement.
All right, and the judgment shows that you have 102 days credit. Mr. Hawk, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, do you have any, Mr. Smith, do you have any testimony or evidence before I ask your client for his plea?
No, Judge, we do not.
Anything from the state?
Judge Mood asked that the court take notice of the state's motion to revoke community supervision, and once given, take judicial notice of the defendant's plea of truth thereto.
All right, the court will take judicial notice of the motion to revoke community supervision, which was filed with this court February the 13th of 2020. And the court will admit into evidence, Mr. Hawk, your written statement that you're waiving your rights and you're pleading true to the motion. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, based on your written plea of truth, the court is going to revoke your community supervision, and I'm going to follow the plea agreement. I'm going to sentence you to 7 months confinement in the state jail. And you will have to pay the balance of your financial obligations. Did I follow the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Because I followed the agreement, it limits your rights to appeal, but you signed and acknowledged that you don't want to appeal. Is that still your desire?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. You'll have to get your print on this judgment. All right. Did I do this? Or done her, so that's an extra set. Here's an extra set. All right, does the state have any other cases?
That appears to be all the cases that if you should be set.
We did Jacobs too. All right, this court has completed all the cases that were set on its docket today. We're now in recess. All right.